again. Right. Okay,
This
now.
remembering to record is a curse.
Yeah, it's a curse, man.
For me personally, at least.
Yeah, I was talking. And, yeah. Now, for those of you who are watching this as a recorded video, don't worry. You didn't miss anything. We just started. So I was telling everyone that there's a misconception on Microsoft Word. Everybody thought that it's like very easy or it's like very difficult. Well, if we actually start the document correctly, then we will have it very easy along the way. But if we didn't know how to do this the correct way, then we will suffer along the way. So there are only 3 demonstrations that I'm going to talk about here. Number 1 is how do you control your formatting centrally. Number 2 is how do you build a table of content in, no, not number 2. This one comes together with the formatting. How do you build a table of content in just 3 clicks? I think you know what's table of content, right, everyone?
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So usually when it comes to a document, when you completed the whole document, that's where you put your table of content right at the beginning of the document. So here, what we're going to do is we're going to prepare our document just like a normal document. Then with 3 clicks, our table of content is ready. Again, a little bit of magic thing that's going to happen there, right? Then the second topic that I'm going to talk about is how do you use mail merge? So assuming you have some marketing document or some document that you want to send out to all your students, so you can actually just send using 1 click to all of them from your database. You do not need to copy and paste the content. And I'll show you how that can be done. Because you want to personalize that message, especially let's just say you're printing the certificate or e-cert. So you can actually print it out to PDF. Everybody will get it when you send it out, right? So those things. And the last but not least is actually long document. Now, if you're going to set up a team member, a group of people to work on one document, for example, a proposal. When you are dealing with a proposal, there are many people doing the work for the proposal. So they come from different angles. Some are from costing, some are from the technical aspect, some are from the drawings or the design. So you notice that one person can't finish the whole proposal. You need input from many angles. So how do you make sure that all this input come from many people can be grouped together into one single file without any effort? Let them do the work, and the work is inside your main document. So we're going to talk about master and sub document. That's the plan. All right. So these are the 3 things that you're going to learn this evening. All right, so I hope 1 hour will be sufficient. Now I'm left with 45 minutes. So let's get to it. I'm going to share my Microsoft Word document now. Okay, so I hope you all can see my Word document.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Why compose? Wow,
Yes.
interesting topic for me.
this is a gardening topic I just Google, and it's very, very informative in here. But too bad, I'm living in a condominium. I can't do a compose in the condominium, so or else everybody will chase me out from this condo. If I have a land or some bigger space where I can do the compose, that would be great. Otherwise, it would be too smelly to have one. Okay, so let's get on to it. Now, if we type in the document, we won't prepare everything. We won't type everything as like this. But to save time in this demonstration, what I do is I just prepare the whole document. I didn't do much. I just type it in. I just put it in, or in this case, I just copy and paste it in. There are many titles up here. You see, the first title I have is Why Compose. Now, I don't want you to do this. I think most of the people will do this kind of thing. Like they will highlight. They will start changing the formatting up here. Agree with me? You will just click bold, make it bigger. Isn't that what you always do when you format your text?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, right? Now, there's nothing wrong with it. Like I said, if you started this way, then you have to repair your document this way moving forward. So don't do that. No, don't do that. Now, what you should do instead is you just go to the title, click. You don't even need to highlight. You just click where the paragraph is, and you look for this particular option here called styles. Can you see my mouse moving?
Yes.
Yes, huh? So I'm going to click heading 1. I'm going to apply a formatting that is grouped inside this heading 1, and they look like this. Okay, and I'm going to talk about this further. I'm going to explain this further, but let's take a look at my screen first. This is my first title. I have another title here. What is a compose file? So I click in this paragraph again. I click heading 1. All right. Now then I go on. I found another topic here. How do you make a compose file? So this one, I will make it heading 2. But I can't find my heading 2 here because I hid them. I hide them from people, right? So I just go to this. I need to open up this panel, and I'm going to go to the option at the bottom. I'm going to tell them, please don't just show the style that I'm using. I'm going to use all the styles. Now, you notice there's only a few styles on the panel here. So I'm just going to click this. Okay. All the styles are now out. So if I click in this paragraph, I can go into things like, see, when it comes to headings, I got heading 1 to heading 9. So heading 1 will be the main title. If you have a subtitle, you make it heading 2. So they will look a little bit different. We will repair how they look like in a while, but now I just concentrate on applying it first. All right, so now I'm going to go to another topic if I can find it. Oh yeah, it's here. So I'm going to make this one heading 1 as well. This one as heading 2. Then the last one here as heading 1 again. So you notice that I make them heading 1, heading 2, heading 1, heading 2, correct? Now, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to make all my heading 1 slightly bigger, but green in color, because this is related to gardening. Now, I'm not going to highlight and then change the color here. That's not what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do is I need to change all the title and make them green. So I will go back to the styles that I have applied here. I right click it. So I click on this paragraph, right click it, modify. So when I'm in here, I can change the color. So right now, if you look at the formatting here, it says Arial 20, it's bold, no italic, no underline. And the color, this is called the font color. I'm going to change it to green. Okay, so this is the green that I want, and I need it to be bold. So I make it bold. So let me click OK. There you go, it's bold. Now, bear in mind, it's not only this particular title, it's every title that I apply heading 1. You notice that? All those that I apply as heading 1 has changed. So what are you going to do next is your heading 2. All those that you apply as heading 2, you go to right click, right click them, then go to modify. You can change the color to, let's just say you want it red in color. You want a size a little bit bigger. Let's just say now it's 13, you want to make it 16. You want to change it to Arial as well, so that it will be consistent. Okay, there you go. So that's how you can format your document from now on. Now, let's just say you submitted the proposal, but your boss say, why do you use green? Can you use something like darker? I don't like this green. I want it to be a darker green. All right, just go to this, modify, change it to a darker green. So you have a darker green somewhere here. There you go. So this is a darker green. And not only one, but every single title that uses heading 1 will be changed. Right? Do you like what you just see? So you imagine if you have more than 100 pages that you need to modify. So something like this will help you save like a few hours of your formattings, and you will not miss out anything. But if you didn't start off with heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, the problem that you're going to have is that when your boss asks you to change color, you have to highlight, change. Then you have to highlight, then you change. Then later your boss say, oh, I forgot to tell you, you're not supposed to bold it. Oh, okay. Then what are you going to do? Highlight, unbold, highlight. You have a few, not only a few, but a lot of topics. You do not want to go through this problem over and over again. So by using the styles up here, you can just right click, modify. You can just change centrally, just change one time, and all those that uses heading 1 will be changed immediately. Okay, now I want to show you something. This is not the only formatting that you can have when you use the styles. Now I'm planning to put up Okay, sorry, I'm planning to put up a line across, not underline, but I want to have a border across. So that means if I click here, there's something that I can use here under the paragraph formatting called border. So I can click the bottom border, then I can have it. But I need this to be on every title, right? I need it to be on every title. So what I'm going to do is I go to this heading 1. Again, I modify. If you look down here at the bottom left, there's a button called format. I'm going to my border because I'm going to place a border. So I'm going to click this border. Then I will choose a solid line. I will change the color to also a dark green. Follow the title color. Then I want to make this a little bit thicker so that you can see it a little bit clearer, thicker. And I just have to click it down here. You see that under the preview, they have top, left, right, and top, left, right, and bottom. So you just click the bottom. That's where you want the line to be. Then you just click. Okay, let me just click that. Okay. Okay, again. There you go. You have the line. And there you go. You have the line. Every heading 1 will have the line. You see that? So that's how easy your document moving forward, right? So this is how you should be doing your work. So I have a questions. Okay, any war? Okay. So for those of you who brought your family member along who are studying in the university, you will feel that this is something going to help you a lot. You can spend so much time doing your research. Don't worry about how the formatting is going to look like anymore, because you can do this really quick. Once you have all your contents in, that's where you're going to spend like maybe half an hour to get all your formatting up and running. Then that's it. Now, let's go back to the uni days, when you are actually preparing your document, your lecturer will normally tell you, can you leave a 1.5 space spacing here between each of the line? So this is what we are having now. And most of the time they ask us to use Arial. So what we do is, let's click anywhere in this paragraph and see what is the style that I'm using for this document. If you can see in my style pane, I'm using body text. Okay, so since all these are using body text, then I will just go to this drop down arrow and modify. Okay, so what they want us to do is to make it to be 1.5 spacing. So I go to my paragraph, spacing, paragraph. So this is where the spacing is. The line spacing, we want it to be 1.5. Some lecturers says double spacing. So you just do double spacing if you want to. But 1.5 is the general thing that we normally have. So then when I hit OK now, and OK again, each of this will be given 1.5 spacing. Because the entire document I'm using body text except for the titles. Okay, so if you have an older lecturer that teaches you, then they need a bigger space, right? I have no idea why, but they normally have a bigger space for those lecturers who are older, but younger lecturers, it's just 1.5 spacing. So that's how you can do it in one go. And please do not go to the back here, enter, no, this kind of thing. Don't do that. Okay, so these are the two things that you can do. Now, take a look. If I go up to the top here, I would like to complete this document with my table of content. Now, I promised you earlier, I just need 3 clicks. Okay, 3 clicks. So I'm going to show you the clicks. Look at my screen. I place my cursor right at the beginning of the document because table of content is normally at the beginning of the document, not somewhere in the middle. So you place your cursor right at the beginning of your document. Okay, let's count the click. Number 1, you go to reference. Number 2, you go to the table of content. So that's number 2. The third click is your choice of whether you want to click table 1 or table 2. So I'm going to choose table 2 with the proper word like table of content. So all I need to do is just click it. I have my table of content ready. Isn't that awesome? Why do we need to work so hard, right, to get this table of content out? No?
Awesome,
So,
awesome.
yeah, it's like magic. They just come out. Now, actually, you are the magician. Why I say you are the magician? Because you apply the styles. If you didn't apply the styles right at the beginning, this won't come out. This will be empty. So the table of content, the automated feature that you have here, you notice that they are saying heading 1, heading 2, heading 3. So they are corresponding to the title that you have here. The title, which uses heading 1, will be your main title. Now, I purposely use heading 2 for some of the topics because I want to show you that there's an indent for the subtopic and the page number is automated. You don't have to go through all the pages just to find out what page number, then you put a dot, 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 you put a number. And at the end, you see all the number are not straight. There are some in, some out, and they are not really aligned. This is something that is aligned very nicely for you. Okay, now we are not done. We are not done. You take a look. Do you ever see any book or any work that you have done where the table of content and the content is sharing the same page? We seldom do that, right? So the title, for every main title, usually you will start on a new page. So a lot of people who do not know this, they will press enter, 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 enter until they go to the next page. Right? Please don't do that. And for those lemon who are very good in Microsoft Word, they will say, just insert a page break. So they will go here, right? Then they will go to the break. They'll tell them, oh, let's go to a page break. For those of them who know the keyboard shortcut, they can put in front here and they press Control Enter. Now, I'm not going to ask you to do this because if you have 20 titles, you have to go to every single title and press Control Enter, Control Enter, Control Enter. Now, we're going to use styles again. So I'm going to go back to my home ribbon here, heading 1, right click, modify. I'm going to this button here, the format. I'm going to choose paragraph. So in this paragraph, look at the second tab on top here, line and page break. So I'm going to tell them, can you please insert a page break before the title? That means the page break will be inserted right before the title. So I'm going to click OK again. OK. So where is this Y compose? It went down to the new page. Right? I think I have two titles. So just now I press enter, right? Now this is the Y compose. This is Y compose because it's starting with a new page. Even though you see there are some empty space here, the title will not be staying up here. It will just go to the new page. Now the next title will coincidentally is actually no more space here. Let me just delete some of this, maybe a little bit of this information. You see, they will share the same page because I didn't tell them to start on a new page. All right, just to share to you. Then I have a new, you see, there's a lot of space here, but this, oh, okay, why is it not? Okay, let's see what happened. Do I have something here? No. Okay, anyway, let's go down. Then we have, there's a lot of space here. Okay, I have a page break that I did it manually. So if I take this away, it will come back again. I just want to show you that there are some things that you can turn on and off to see. So this is called the title. Then it will appear on every page. So by doing that, now I have problem here. This page number is no longer valid. It's wrong because my Y compose is no longer in page 1. It's in page 2. So I'm just going to click update the table. I'm going to update the page number. Right? But I prefer to update everything. If you want a page number only, go ahead. You can do everything. In case you go to one of the topic and you start changing the name, the spelling, whatsoever, you just click this one and just say OK. Now the page number now is updated. So you don't have to work so hard trying to get everything up by doing this table of content manually. Okay. So when you print, all these boxes will not appear. Don't worry. See, they won't appear. They will just appear like this. They will be very nicely done. Okay. Now, what happened next is you notice that the formatting, this is not using Arial. If you follow the instruction for your thesis or whatever assignment that you get, now all this table of content that you're using, they are also using style. So let me just click outside here. I select one of this line here. Let's see, what are they using? They're using TOC1. Then for the one in the indented is called TOC2. Then the one on top here is called TOC heading. So if you want to make all of this Arial, you have to change these 3. So what you do is just come up here, modify, just make sure that this is Arial. That's it. Then go to the next one here, modify, just change this to not Times New Roman, Arial. Then TOC1, modify, Arial. So your table of content and your content is all using a standardized font called Arial. So you change it from the same spot. From now on, whenever you completed your job, you just have to update. Before you even print it, you just update, then you can print it. Right. So that's on the styles. So I hope you like this particular feature that I'm showing you. Right. Any comments? Are you still there?
Stuck in awe, don't know what to say. Very good.
Everyone's dumbfounded.
Dumbfolded.
Dumbfounded.
But you know what I'm talking about, right? And how you can actually make your document so easy to modify, so easy to work with moving forward. You don't really need to do any highlighting or whatsoever. Just go to the style and modify the formatting, and the entire document is ready. No longer do it paragraph by paragraph. Okay. You can explore some of the features that I didn't show you. Go ahead and explore them. Only when you try and click them, then you will know what are they all about.
Kelvin, there's a question by Alia. How to make Y composed as page 1?
Why compose as page 1? Well, that will require you to add in a section. Right? That will require you to put in as a section. So you must make sure that this page is in a different section. So you're going to do a page break section, right? Section. So a section break can start with page 1. So if I insert here, you notice that the page didn't move, but when I click here, you will notice that there is something called a section break. Okay, so in every section, now this is page 1. This is page 1. So I can come in here and do some formatting. So over here, oops, Kita is in. So this is actually a page number I created from the field up here. So what you do is you can just tell them to start the page number from number 1. So you can format that page number if you want to, and you tell them that you want to start. Okay, you see, the page numbering don't continue from the previous section, but start at number 1. So that will require a lot of different understanding. Please explore section. Please explore section. So now this Y compose is considered page 1 in section 2. Okay, that is for advanced user. That's for advanced user.
Sorry, Kelvin, I think maybe if I understand Alia's question, because sometimes when we do reports, the table of contents is not a numbered page, right? So we don't want to leave it as a number. We want to leave it empty, and the very first page starts at the first title. So I think that might be the
okay.
angle.
So you don't want it to be, you don't want it to be a first page, right? So I'll come back here again. So you make sure that this section 2 does not link to the first page. You see, link to the previous. When they are talking about previous, they are talking about section. So you can uncheck that link to the previous. Then when you go back to your section 1, you can take away the number, which will not affect your section 2.
Okay, right. I got it. Thanks.
Right. Yeah. So these are all, yes, Madhu.
Thank you so much, Kelvin, for this. So Kelvin, for our organization, we of course have a corporate branding. So the header, footer, font size, everything left align, right align is defined. So is there a way we can like predefine it and also save it so that every time I open a document, I can use it rather than going through heading 1, 2?
Yes.
Create my style.
You have to do this. Can you see on my screen? What is it? Themes. So you go to the themes, you create your own theme, right? So you can save your current theme, or you can create your own, whatever that you have done here, you can save it, right, as another theme. you save this as a team. So once you save this as a team, whatever that you are using now, you save it as a team. In future, you just have to look out for the team. Each time you start a document, you just go and click this, then your font, your color, everything will be there.
Ah, okay. So you don't save it in styles, you save it in themes.
Yes, the themes.
Okay.
So whenever you make changes to all the styles and so on, it's considered part of the themes.
Ah, okay.
So if you go to this design, then you start creating your own, right? So down here, you can save your own.
On style, okay.
Right? So this document at the moment is only for this document, but the moment you click on the save as a new style, then everything that you created earlier, they will be captured in this new style.
Okay.
So this is explore this thing called new styles. Basically, these styles is across all the Microsoft product, Word, Excel, and even PowerPoint. So in PowerPoint, they have the themes as well. In Excel, they have the themes as well, but it's not really very, very popular. Since you brought it up, then this is the one that control the entire corporate identity of your company. Right? So if you are the administrator of your company, right, when you have a server to do the push updates and so on, they can actually identify which theme becomes the default. Not you personally in your computer, but it's actually pushed by the system. You can't do it yourself, but so if you are doing it for yourself, then you have to make sure each time you have to come in and look for the theme that you want. You started a document, then you just go and look for the theme. Moving forward, you don't look for the color anymore. You don't have to look for the fonts anymore, and so on. The styles are all pre-captured for you.
Thank you so much. I need to tell my comms person to send the IT guy to your training.
All right, so that's the first tips I want to share with all of you. Now, give me some time. I'm going to open another file. Where is my file? Okay, I'm going to do the mail merge now. Okay, so let me just share my screen instead, because I need to show you that I have 3 files. You're looking at my screen now, right? There are 3 files here, right? When I talk about mail merge, I'm talking about, let's just say I want to print a letter, formal letter, to all my customer. Okay, so usually a lot of people, when they do this, okay, assuming I have this letter, then I have to type the customer name, address, and so on, print. Then I type another one, print. Type another one, print. That will like take ages if you have a few thousand people to send to. Now, in this particular folder that I'm having, I have another Excel file. This is an Excel file. So how you prepare the database? So I'm going to go into this file. If you look at it, it's basically just an Excel file. Nothing fancy. Right. So what you need to do in order to get this thing correct is you make sure that your first row are the headers, and you don't really need to format them with any bold, italic, underline. You can do that, but it's not necessary. Nobody's looking at this anyway. So it's you yourself who's looking at this. So if you have a list and you are not going to present this, then don't bother formatting it. So now let's take a look at some of these names here. We have Rand Liu, we have Francisco Perez, we have Luciano Ramos. I got all these names from the internet. I don't know, some of them I don't even know how to pronounce it. You try to remember some of these names here and some of these names here, right?
Ming is also there.
Sorry again?
Row 13, Ming is also there.
Jen Ming, yeah, 31. So Ming, I put your name there. Okay, now this is the document. You see, I have the job title, I have the address, city, state, postal code, country, and the email address. So these are the information that I have in my Microsoft Excel. So if I keep this information in my Microsoft Excel, I just keep on adding. That's fine. Just keep on adding if you have new customer. Now, once you are done with this, you save and you close it. You don't have to do anything. Just leave it there. So where is this file? This file is inside my desktop, a webinar folder. VLC Word Sharing, and the folder called Mail Merge. Then I have the customer database. So I'm going back to my Word document now. This is the document that I'm planning to send to all my 30 customers. Okay, so let's look at the process. Mail Merge is basically a process. Number one, step one, you must make sure you connect to your database. Then step two is where you start to prepare your Word document. So I can't prepare anything now in this document because I have not connected to the database. So how do I do that? Number one, I go to mailing. So you notice that all these buttons here are all gray out. You can't do anything until you connect to the database. So how do I do that? Right, so let's start from the process number one. We must tell this Microsoft Word, what are we doing? Okay, so now forget about the first part. This first part is only when you're dealing with one single document. So I'm going to do a mail merge. Now I'm going to prepare something called a letter. Now you can always do an email message, or you want to print it on an envelope, or you want to print it on a sticker, or you want to prepare a brochure or some sort of catalog that you can do a directory. Now I'm just going to create a letter. This is a letter, Okay, so they know now that this is a letter. The second step now is I must tell them where is my database. Now, if you look carefully, there are three options available. Number one is you type a new list. That's if you don't have a list, but I already have it. So I'm going to use the second one called use an existing list. Now, if you already updated every single of your customer with their address and everything in your Microsoft Outlook contact, you can immediately just use it from your Outlook contact. But how many of us will actually just update our Outlook contact with their email address and with their home address, with their company name, with their position? We seldom do that unless you are that disciplined to do that. So we prepare a Word document. So that's what I did, prepare a Word document. So you remember I put it on the desktop. It's all the way down, webinar. So WD Sharing. Under the mail merge, there is a customer database. So I click that file and open. So now I'm going to connect. Now in that file earlier, I forgot to tell you that there are 3 worksheets, but only one worksheet has the data, which is in worksheet number 1. So that's worksheet number 1. I just click OK. Now, if I click on this next button here, edit recipient list, do you see somebody you know in this list or not? Ta-da, Jamming is here, right? Jamming, I do not know when you moved to Seremban, but yeah, you are in Seremban now. Right? I'm going to send it to your Seremban address. So these are the people like Ran Liu, Francisco Perez, Luciano Ramos. You see, all of them are here. Okay, the name that you see in the Excel document, it's now in this list. So what you can do here is you can start to filter. Assuming you only want to send to those people from Johor Bahru, so you can just click Johor Bahru. So these are the 3 people, and then you, whenever you just send the document or you print the document, you only get 3 letters. Now I'm not going to do that. I'm going to, no, did I say Johor Bahru and I click Kota Bahru, right? So I said Johor Bahru, right? Johor Bahru. So Johor Bahru got 2 only. Okay, so I'm going to click all again. I'm not going to do much filtering. Now, if you can't filter by this, then you have to know who are they. You can uncheck who do you want to exclude in your mail merge, right? So this is just to show you who is in your list of recipient. So let's not do anything here. We're going to click OK, get out. So let's prepare our document. So now what I have done is step number 1. I have connected my Excel document with my Word document. They are connected now. So the data from my Excel document will start to flow into this Word document. Let's see what I mean by this. Now I'm going to put the letter recipient address in this line. Line number 2 here. So I'm going to click this and go to this button called Insert Merge Field. I'm going to start with their first name, space, then I choose the last name. All right. So I press Enter to go to the next line. After the name, what I'll do is I'll start with their address. I'm going to skip the job title. I'm going to go to the address, Enter. Then I'm going into the city space. I want to choose the postal code. Then I'll put in the state. And lastly, country. Okay. So now I can put in here, dear, I'll put in the first name. Okay, comma. That's it. So this is what I see on my document now. Now let me take away all the black colored dots there. So I go to this. I take away the show height. I go back to my mailing. Now this document looks like this now. Let me just zoom in a little bit more so that you can see this. So once you have placed all these fields in your document, what you need to do now is just click on this button, preview result. Now this is for preview purpose only. You're not supposed to print it. So you're supposed to just look through it. So when I click preview, did you see Run Liu 789 26th Street, Ipoh 29845 Pera? So this is the first record that you see here. First record. Okay. So if you want to see the second record, it should be who? Francisco Perez, right? So I go to this navigator here, just click the next arrow. I will see all the names one by one. So I just look through it. If everything is okay, therefore I just go to the last step, which is finish and merge. I click here and I'm going to print the document. So when I click print, I need to tell them how many records I need to print. They are all together 30. So I'm going to print all. So I just click all. If you want to test out the printing, you can say please print 1 to 5. You can do that. So once I hit OK, they will come into the print dialog box. You can choose which printer. I think you know about this. Now I'm going to click OK, because if I click OK, it will start going to my Samsung printer and it start printing out 30 pieces of letter. I'm not going to do that. So I'm not going to click OK. Yeah? So that's the whole process. And you just have to put in your letterhead into the printer and you wait for the 30 pieces of letter, individual letter with individual names and address appear on top of the letter. So you only have to prepare it once, everything is ready. So another way to automate your work. How many of you have used mail merge before? Did I explain it in a way that you can understand?
Yeah, there are some responses on the chat. Some of them have used it. I just have a question, Kelvin. If you were to select send by email, do you have to send it through Outlook, or can you use the same style in another external email platform?
No, they are brother, sister. You have to use Outlook.
Okay, right.
You have to use Outlook. And they are only connected to the Outlook. So they will not connect to your Gmail and so on. That will require an external party plugin for them to connect. I tried that and it's very tedious. And more often than usual, it actually has a lot of error and some email don't go out and so on. Somehow Microsoft make it hard for you to connect to other email. They want you to use the Outlook.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
So for your marketing purposes, if you have your own domain email and so on, this is very good. They actually send through your own email. Okay, let me just click that button and show it to you. If I choose finish and merge, right? I want to send email. So I choose to, then the email address in my column, you remember? In my database, there is one called email column that I can put in the subject line. My mail content is a HTML. I'm going to just click OK, and then they will go into the, they will send out the 30 emails.
Okay, got it.
So the process is a lot easier if you do that. What is it that you're asking? Can we use this to create certificate? Yes, of course. Your document is just a Word document. So you prepare using your Word document. You can use the design of your document. You can make it, if your certificate is portrait. If it's the landscape, you change your page setup to landscape. Then you start designing by using tables. Then what you do is you insert all the fields into the respective, format it bigger and so on. That's it. Your certificate are ready to print. And the best news, the best thing here is that you can actually go into this edit recipient list. You see this edit recipient list. Oh, let me just see what is. Oh, this is still on. Now, if you go to this edit recipient list, assuming you have your course date, you want to print classes only for that particular date and that course, you can actually just filter it, then you just print it. So your database is just ongoing. Don't worry about creating a different database for different course. You just keep on inserting your data. From here, this is where you do your filtering. So let's say today is the 3rd of June. So if you have the course date, you choose 3rd of June, then the class is called Microsoft Word. So you just choose Microsoft Word and you print. There are so many of you here. So there are 24 of you here. There will be 24 names. Then I'll print out the 24 cert from my Microsoft Word. So then you have to just do your pre-printed cert. You have to align it properly, put it into your printer, and you just print. So always remember to test the first piece if everything is okay before you print the rest. Okay, so what else? What other question are you asking?
Kelvin, I have a question.
Yeah.
Yang email tu, what goes into the email? The letter or just a paragraph of conversation?
The letter.
Or the letter goes into the email?
The whole thing is your body.
The body goes into the email as a body, not a letter.
Okay, the whole thing. If let's just say, assuming I didn't do this here because this is an email, I do this because this is a letter. But in the letter, normally you don't put a recipient address. Do you type a recipient address in your email? You don't, right?
No.
You will start with Dear Luciano, then you start your content. So this is your content.
Okay. So it's not really a letter.
No, you are not. No. It's actually.
This is just a body.
Yeah. I told you earlier, I'm starting off this one as a letter, ma.
Yeah.
But someone mentioned about email. So
yes.
Assuming I'm using this as my email, I crafted everything here as an email. I don't have to do this because in email we don't put the address.
Correct.
Then between letter and email, letter we print.
Yeah, betul.
But email we don't print, we send.
Betul.
So you just prepare your contents, then you just send. And it's personalized. That means everyone will receive their email in the section called to who is only their email. They will not see anyone else.
Very good.
So many people, they do not know about this. So what they do is they go to the email, right? They send to themselves, then BCC to everyone else.
Betul.
Right? That's fine. I mean, I leave it to you.
Guilty.
That's fine. That's fine as long as it works, right? But there is another way you can use Microsoft Word to help you on that. Now, in fact, you can actually start the mail merge from your Microsoft Outlook. There is one button called Mail Merge where you can just click that and you will connect it to the Microsoft Word, and then you can start your mail merge process as well. But how many of us actually use Microsoft Outlook correctly? Not many. Many people will think, Outlook, well, why do you need to learn? So it's like email only. But Microsoft Outlook is more than email, actually. All right. So I hope you understand what I'm trying to say here.
Very good. Now, thanks.
What I'm going to do next is the master and sub document. So I'm going to close all these files. I assume you don't have any question, but I can take the question after the 1 hour session. I'm going to close some of my document first. Yeah, it's a little bit too messy already. Okay, so what is this? Okay, this is the recording. Okay, I can close this as well. Okay, this is the recording. Oh, I have a message. Who is that? Microsoft Outlook or Web Outlook? It's the Microsoft Outlook, not the web. Microsoft Outlook that comes with your Microsoft Office. Yeah, that's the one. Wait, where am I? Okay, the last topic, master and sub document. Now, in this topic, what I'm going to talk about is, let me just minimize most of the thing here. It's a bit messy. Okay, so I want you to look at this folder that I have, master and subdocument. So let's just say, myself, I'm the project leader, and I have a group of you here to help me with this proposal. So what I'm going to do is, as a project leader, I started off with this with the first document. So let's just say the file is called, wait, let me just close it again. The file is called use outline. Maybe I change this one to proposal. Okay, so the name of this document is called proposal. When I open it, what I need to do as a leader, what I do is I just come up with all the titles and I make them heading 1. But this particular title that I put in here, I did not do it in this view. Okay, I want to introduce something to you, which I have done in PowerPoint. Remember, I show you how do you bring in that content to PowerPoint using Microsoft Word. I prepare it. If you can still remember, what I did was I go to view, I go to the outline view. Okay, so this is where I type all the title. So anything that I appear next to this icon is your level 1. So each of the level 1 is going to be your sub-document. Say, I have the garden company. So the garden company, I want to send it to Annie. Annie is very good in coming up with the company structure or about the company. So Annie is going to type this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign the garden company title, and I want to pass it to Annie to complete it. Then for the introduction, I'm going to send it to Dave. Then for Y Compose, I'm going to send it to Ashok. For this one, I want to send it to Sam or Wahab, Abdul Wahab. So I will give each and every one a title to type in, but this is just a talk. I'm not going to send it to you. But how can I do that? So this is what you're going to do. You're going to click the title anywhere inside the first title. This is the place that you're going to observe this time. So we're going to do something called show document here. Now, I'm in my first topic, then I'm going to click create. When I create, I'm actually creating a sub-document, right? So before I do that, let me go back to my folder. How many files do you see inside this folder? Just one, right? Just one. So please witness this. In this folder called masters and sub-document, there's only one file. So what I'm going to happen now is when I click create, you notice there's a box around it. So I go to this title here, I create, I go to each of this title and I click create. Now I done 4 of them. So usually what happened after this, when I created a sub-document, I will just save the document. I'll save it. See, I'm clicking the save button, right? So when I go back to my folder now, I will have how many files? I have additional 4 different files here. So what I'll do is I'll click this file. I will email it to Annie. Annie, can you please work on this one? Then I'll click to Ming. Ming, can you do this? Wahab, Abdul Wahab, can you do this? And well, did I mention just now? Can you do this? Right. So each and every one of you will just put in the content. I will tell you that don't worry about the formatting. Just build in the content. So when you send it back to me, right, it will be complete. So take a look. Assuming now I'm Annie. So I go to the garden company. So I will start to type in some information. So I tell him, okay, let me just say, okay, just give me a minute. Equals to random. Okay, let's just say it's 7, 9. So enter. Oops. I have to do this again. Equal to random. Oops, it doesn't work. All right, it works. Now, assuming Annie has spent her time typing about the company and these are all the contents, So once she have done that, she just click save. Okay, now then she close her file. She email it back to me. And when I put her file into my folder again, you look at the content, it's already in here. This is my file called proposal. So whatever Annie put in just now is already in my document. So if I go to the second file, introduction, so Meng is going to do that as well. Huh? So I'm going to do this like equals to random. Okay, Meng is very special. Why I say special? Because he's going to do this equals to lorem 6, 8. Okay, let me just do that again. All right. So, you know, Meng travel around the world. So he learned a lot of languages. See, if anybody here can read this and understand what it says, let me know. Huh? Now, this is what Meng has done. Save it, close. So Meng's document is ready in my file. Do you like what you see? So this is called collaboration. We do not let the file move around, but we have a master document, which is the name called proposal. But the rest of this document, they are your sub-document. So I'm going to email, let's just say this is a real situation. I'm going to email one of this file to the person in charge. So this person will just fill in the content. Don't worry so much about the formatting. Get it done. Send it back to me. All I need to do is just take that file, make sure the name is the same, drop it into the same folder. So when I open up my proposal, I should be able to get the data uploaded already. Can you all see what I'm trying to tell you? So for those of you who are studying in the uni, right, if your lecturer gave you, or you are the lecturer, you gave them an assignment, you will notice that when you give them a group assignment, they end up one person doing the work, the rest of them will execute. You know, you don't let them do that. You will assign each and every one of them with one topic, and everyone will have to do the research and put it together into one set of documents. So from there, it can be graded separately. Because the style of writing, the grammatical error is very obvious, and the work that they have done, the way of their research and everything. So you will see from the difference between each topic done by different people. So this is how you can grade them individually, even though it's a group project. So some of them don't do anything at all, but they will still get a grade. Right? The person who is very hardworking will do everything, and everyone else enjoy the grades. So that's a little bit unfair to me. Now, I'm just going to show you something else. I'm going to close this file. I'm going to close this proposal. I'm going to close this one. Then I'm going to save it. Okay. So I'm going to close the rest of the Word document as well. There's no Word document anymore. There's no other Word document. So I will go to this thing called Y Compose. I'll put in some text, okay? I'll put in some, this one, I just simply whack some text here. Okay. I'm done with the text already. Y Compose, this is the content, and I save it. Okay. So everyone will finish their work. Everyone will start their work at the same time. If I email to them, they will start their work at the same time. But as soon as they finish, they will send it back to you. Okay, so then you will know who has completed the work. You drop into this folder. Then when you open your file, the main file, the master file, you will not be able to see everything. You will see something like this. Okay, you will see something like this. So don't panic. You have to go back to your view, outline view. Then you have to expand the document. If you don't click this expand sub-document, you won't see the content. Right? Once you click the expand sub-document, you can click close your outline view. So the document looks very normal from now on. So each time when you open up your master document, you have to go through the outline, expand it, then close. Then you can start reading what are they talking about. So you want to work on the formatting, you just click inside here. You see the style is using, the style they use is normal. So just right click normal, modify. So you tell them, oh, don't use Times New Roman, I use Century Gothic. I just want you to use 10-point size. And I want to change this one to a light gray like this. I don't want it to be a complete black color. So, okay, it's done. And I want it to have a paragraph spacing. So I just go this, I go to this format paragraph. Okay, so the before and after. So I want it to be every paragraph. After each paragraph, I want to have some spacing, 6 points. Or maybe I make it obvious, 12 points. And I want it to be 1.5 lines. Enter. Okay, there you go. The document is ready. So you notice I didn't even really highlight or select any text. Okay, I didn't do anything. I just go to the styles and I just change it. So that is not only for the first title, it's for every single title that I have in my document. Okay, so I hope you like this feature. Now, once you have completed this, you come back here and you already accepted all the changes done. Click the show document again. Make sure you lock this document. When you say lock this document, if you read what it says there, lock subdocument links so that future changes aren't propagated to the subdocument. That means you do not want anyone to make any changes anymore. So you lock the document. But when you send it out, you still have some amendment. That's where you will send out the document again. So you tell them this is where you need to change. Then you put it back. But make sure before you send out, you unlock it first. So this is a lock to make sure that no more changes after that. No more changes will be affecting the master document. Now, if you really, really want to break the chain, then you have to unlink. So that means if this document, Annie had done a good job, so I know Annie says no more changes, so we can unlink. So the moment I click unlink, then whatever changes that Annie will work on in her file will not be propagated here. It will not be updated here anymore. Even though I put it inside, the update, it will not, because this is no longer a sub-document. Because I click on the unlink, and this unlink will just break the relationship between the master and the sub-document. So before you submit, you have to break all the links. Now this is not done by any, this is Ming. Anyone is over here, so you did a good job. I unlink them. Okay, so you get what I'm trying to say, right? Now, do you remember just now I did something to one of the files? So let me just scroll down. Now, it's here, you see? Whatever that I changed just now, it's here. Y compose is here. Right? Okay. So guys, what do you think?
Calvin, I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, so you put all the topics in a folder, right? So you send each folders to the respective person that you want them to work on those folders, right? And then you put so you email to each one of them, and then when they return it back to you, so you put them in that same folder. So and then it will automatically be formatted. Is that how you do it?
Yes. You just make sure that the file name is the same.
I
when
see.
you throw it in, they will ask you, do you want to replace? You want to update or replace? Yes. You say click yes, you want to replace it.
Oh, great. That saves a
Now,
lot of work.
that environment is when you are individuals, like in schools, the uni, everyone are actually not in the same domain. But in the work environment, you have somebody from the engineering department, you have somebody from the accounts department, there are somebody from the procurement department. So we are all in the same company. What you can do is you put that folder, right? You put that folder in your shared folder in the server. You know what I mean? You can go to your G drive, create a folder, then you call this proposal. You can give some permission to the respective people to enter that folder. They will look for their title and they will start typing in from there. or they can copy it down to their desktop. When they finish, they just replace it in. That means no email transacted in this situation. If you are in a network environment, so there are two ways to look at it. So if you are on an individual basis, email is the only way to go, how you can collaborate. But if you're in the corporate environment where you have a server to host your folder, then you just post that folder onto that server. That's it. Your work, you just have to go and open up the file called proposal. You will see who has done it, who has not done it. It's very clear cut. Those without any content, I mean, this person have not even started. Okay, let me see the message. My camera is blocking. I had some message. Thank you for sharing. Oh, Gavin, you are a relationship person. Huh? Unlink means break up. Yeah. So next time you don't say break up, I unlink with you. Okay, so any question? You are very quiet. Okay.
I'm good. Thanks a lot, Calvin.
Now, what do you think? Are you expecting something like this, or you still think Word is very complicated?
Kelvin.
Yeah.
I think I have lost a lot of time in my life doing stupid things.
It's okay. Now that you know, and your children is here, your daughter is here.
Man.
So
Yeah.
let her not follow what you have done last time. So at least she's being informed, and she can explore.
Thank you so much for this. So grateful.
Remember the program that we want to do?
Yeah.
This is part of the topic.
Love it.
Yeah. So the
Love
kids
it.
are going
Great
to
job.
love that. Yeah.
Great job. Thank you, Kelvin.
No problem.
Kelvin, can I quickly just share a short case study for a minute?
Yeah, go ahead. You are the co-host, right? Go ahead.
Okay, guys, when Kelvin spoke about mail merge just now, if you still remember the second topic, what we do in my company is we run training programs, right? So when we get registrations for a program, let's say we got a program called time management and 30 people signed up. So what we do is when we collect all the registrations, we key all of them into a database, an Excel file, like what Kelvin showed you earlier. So now once all their names are there, we just want to make sure their names are all correct. And based on that, we use that Excel file as a mail merge to print letters to them, send emails to them. When we print, when we want to send them a courier of the certificate, the label of the certificate is also the same database. So which means if that database is wrong, everything is going to be wrong. So I just need to fix the database and everything else will be fixed. So whether it's letters, emails, envelopes, labels, name tags, certificates, I use one source. I don't have to recreate their names over and over again. So that's another excellent way you can use mail merge as well. Thanks, Kelvin.
Right. Saiful said something about flow chart on Microsoft Word. Okay, let me see. Flow chart. Let me just open up the previous file. Let's just say Garden Company. Okay. So you want to prepare a flow chart. Now, in fact, there is something called Smart Art that you can use. Okay, so you can have process to do that, a flow chart. Now, if you ask me, creating a flow chart using Microsoft Word, you have very little option, very few option. The best tool to use to create a flow chart will be what you call, suddenly it just slipped my mind. It was with me just now.
Visio? Are you
Yes,
referring to Visio?
Visio. Yeah, Visio is fantastic. You should use Visio, VISIO. Unfortunately, it's not part of Microsoft Office. You have to purchase this software separately, right? Unless you have the Pro Plus, Microsoft Office Pro Plus. It comes with Visio. But you have to buy it separately. But if there's any one of you here in need of that particular software, you let me know. I can give a copy to you, no problem. Right? I have a copy that I don't use, but I am going to give you not the latest version, old version, but it still works. It will still work perfectly. So just private message me. I'll guide you how to get it if you really need that. So when it comes, I can't really show you, but if you want to do a quick one, will be using this kind of like processors, circle, hierarchy. These are all the basic thing that you can use, right? Flowchart is basically something called a process, how do you from one step to another step, whichever icon here or whatever smart art here that can help, you just use it. It's not something that you can use as a flow charting purpose, but this is the closest we can have in Microsoft Word, right? So I'm sorry, I won't be able to show you how to do the flowchart because this is not a flow charter program. Saiful, sorry about that. Just use Visio. If using other apps like Visio, the client cannot edit. You're right. They can't edit unless they have Visio. So Anand have to go. Thank you. Thank you for joining. And who else? Now, okay. So I think there's no more messages coming in. All right. So for those of you who are going to stay back and test out the, you call it breakout session, we can do it now. Okay, we can do it now. I'm going to stop